There's one sure thing in this uncertain world. A gharry ride will always take you to places where there's excitement tinged with sun-drenched history. You're on the coast of the Mediterranean, that compelling sea where civilization and romantic living grew side by side. The Pict's magic carpet has transported you to the mosques and minarets that conjure up an Arabian Nights atmosphere, where magic carpets were always a picture book part of life. For we've left Europe. This is the strange city where Western concepts and Middle Eastern magic are superimposed. It was a horse like ours over 2,000 years ago that brought Alexander the Great here to found this city in his name. Alexandria, Egypt's beguiling seaport, captured in turn by Romans, Turks and Arabs, as this old fort reminds us, silently. When the pharaohs ruled Egypt, this chunk of granite was hewn and hoisted in memory of an emperor who brought bread to the people starving from a 9-month siege. The Sphinx looked inscrutably on, while in the course of centuries, one of the many mouths of the Nile, which flowed into Alexandria's fishing harbour, got silted up and lost. You sail here in waters which once were lit by the great Pharos lighthouse, the seventh wonder of the ancient world, destroyed in an earthquake a mere matter of 600 years ago, just the day before yesterday in Egypt's historical reckoning. To what particular century would you attribute these fishermen? They, or others like them, were doing just this before the lighthouse island was joined by the river's rich deposits to the mainland to become a busy part of a bustling modern town. Nobody must tell them they're out of pace with the streamlined city, because they too are part of Egypt's ancient romance that posterity would want us to preserve. When Arab horses stormed into Alexandria 1,300 years ago, they found 4,000 palaces and baths, 12,000 gardeners and 400 theatres dating back to antiquity. But there are surprisingly few ancient traces left here, where 15 miles of corniche give a south of France look to the seafront road that leads east, where we're heading, to the palm-girt Montaza Palace, where ex-King Farouk disported himself in luxury. We're heading for a pleasure ground where life goes swimmingly. Once, this was the king's private beach, exclusive to his chosen favorites. Today it belongs to everyone. They're famous, the beaches of Alexandria. From the dazzling sunshine, we've come now to the shadowy world of the catacombs, one of Alexandria's ancient remainders that survived all the sieges and rebuilding, to be discovered by chance just 60-odd years ago. A burial place hewn out of the living rock and dating back through Greek and Roman times to the days of the pharaohs, when snakes and crocodiles were gods. In the Montaza Palace today, you can win riches if you guess right at roulette. But who can guess what riches, what hidden slices of history may be buried underneath?
Faites vos jeux. Faites vos jeux, s'il vous plaît.
You've only got to go to the outskirts of town to encounter the one Egyptian creature that never changes and links the rich Nile Valley with the surrounding wilderness, the camel. From the western desert away to Upper Egypt, there are camel sales like this one near Aswan, the key market for trade with the Sudan. Here you see fellahin faces unchanged from the faces depicted on the tombs in the Valley of the Kings. Here, life has stood still through the scurrying centuries. Yet, ironically, it's here at Aswan, where the Nile bursts through the granite rocks in a huge cataract, that a great dam is to be built, which will fertilize the desert wastes, but must inevitably inundate some of the ancient monuments. The biggest change that Egypt's seen in 3,000 years. There have been changes too in the Red Sea. Here at Hurghada, the capital of the area, you can take a motorboat out among the coral reefs for the sort of fishing that most people only dream about. The perfect excursion, here where not long ago pirates made life perilous. Changes too in the life of the local fishermen. Paraffin lights are the only concession they'll make to modernity as they put out at dusk to lure the self-same fishes that their ancient ancestors speared by the light of flares. There's no carpet more magical than the liquid carpet of the Red Sea when twilight puts its inimitable patterns into it.